I'm Jen, welcome to my channel. Let's do a reading for the collective just to see what you need to hear. Okay, so let's start. I've got this chakra reading card deck, which I actually used to use a lot when I first started doing my readings. And I really appreciate it. It's just a really, I don't know, I really like the messages. There's some different cards, like just the way they read, I appreciate like the clarity or how concise they are. So we have nurturing and then universal light. So the nurturing is like a mom and cub. And then we have this universal light. So number 3, let's see what that one says. Okay, so nurturing, Earth Star Chakra. So you have called upon this card today as an invitation to create more nurturing in your life. It is easy to get caught up with the crazy hustle and bustle of the world, forgetting to take a little more time for yourself to give back, nurture, and receive the gifts and fruits of your labor. The healing energy of nurturing is available to you now, and you are being encouraged to take a moment to honor yourself with this light. Something in your life is calling for some love and nurturing. You are completely deserving of this love and attention. Do these things for yourself that allow you to feel this loving essence. Take a long, relaxing bath, go for a massage, spend time with friends and loved ones. Whatever allows you to feel nurtured, make sure you do this for yourself, as it is a big part of your growth and healing at present. It is a natural state of being to nurture. However, due to fear, we have learned to shut off and separate ourselves from love and nurturing that surrounds us. So open yourself to the kindness in your heart and create some love in your life today. And the affirmation here is, I am nurturing myself in all aspects of life, and I am open to receive this powerful, loving energy now and always. This is nurturing. And the number 34. Okay, so, and that number 34 is Soul Star Chakra. So you have pulled this card today to remind you that you are always connected to and an extension of the powerful universal light of the cosmos. This light is what fuels your soul and gives birth to the stars. It is the all-wise, all-knowing, all-loving energy of the universe. This light is divine, unconditional love at its purest. Sometimes you can feel disconnected and shut off from this light. However, in truth, you are an extension of and made up of this energy and can never be separate. This light loves, guides, and supports you at all times. You are being encouraged to focus on this divine connection to the cosmos and do what is required to deepen and awaken fully to this universal light. You may like to introduce meditation to your daily routine, attend a spiritual awakening event or workshop, work with some powerful breathing exercises, or even taking up yoga to deepen your connection. Whatever you choose, make sure to action this connection to the universal light of the cosmos. As you awaken to this unconditional love, you will feel an abundance of wisdom, support, strength, light within you in your world. It will assist you to make clear decisions as you step towards your personal power. Your heart will expand with love as your soul heals, bringing you peace of mind, and well-being in your world. This universal light of the universe loves you no matter what you have or haven't done in your life. It does not judge, and it is unconditional. It understands you at the deepest level. This light is you, your pure essence. Open your heart to receive the love of universal light available to you at all times. You are an amazing, powerful being, and now it is the time to believe in your light. And the affirmation here is, I am divine. I am a divine channel of universal light. So trusting that you have time to take care of yourself, trusting that you have time and space to do the things that you feel drawn to for your comfort and for your soul. Like if there's things that you feel like you just don't have time for, but you got to make time. This is like I'm trying to get more meditation in my life right now, and it's a little bit challenging. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little bit challenging. It's something I need to do, and I'm working towards doing it more often. I think I just need to set up more of a schedule for it. So let's see what else, what other messages that you need to hear right now. These cards are hard. They're so large, and they're a little bit awkward to shuffle. Okay, let's get some cards coming up. Just one. I know this solid, I might just have to cut the deck. They don't want to come apart. The sadness of letting go. Okay, so card number 2. Sometimes when we feel very alone, we have trouble letting go, but when we meet another, a companion who is like us, yet unlike us, their presence can help us open to new possibilities that show us who we could be. You are now freeing yourself from the old bonds and beliefs, from what you wanted to keep but could not. Whether or not this is right for you, and the soul says it is right for you, there is always sadness in letting go. It is a void, a loss, a recognition that one thing we once wanted could not work within the world that we are creating. In every release truly made, there will be mourning. Trust yourself most of all, but accept the help of those whose kindness and care are unmistakable. Friendship will reveal aspects of your own soul that you did not know existed. Okay, so let's get some, look at some grieving cards. If you're still working on releasing someone from your past, where you just... This is a tough one. Like when you have to walk away from people that you don't want to walk away from, but they're just not healthy for you, and they'll just keep bleeding on you. It's difficult because it feels like you have no other choice but to do it, and you wish they would have made the changes or done the work to do different. And we just can't force that upon anybody. And for me, I've had to step away from a lot of people, especially the closest people to me, because it just felt like it didn't matter how much I let them know, like how much they were hurting me or how their actions were offensive or cruel. Like they just don't want to acknowledge it. And so like, how do you work with somebody like that? And it got to a point where it's just like, in the beginning, it really hurt. And then at a point, I'm just like, because it hurt them. You know what hurt the most is the titles of these people, I think. You know, and it can hurt because you've been with them for so long. If they're family members, if they're partners, if they're like co-parents and things like that hurts because in your mind you see them there forever. And so when that that picture is broken, that's the challenging time, right? Because you're just like, okay, now what? Like I just thought they would always be here. And there's things that we cling to them that we enjoy, but like then it's kind of like especially when the ending happens, it's like going to someone's funeral where, you know, like that guy was a dick, but like, you know, we're gonna remember all the good things about him, but like he was really a dick. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm not saying this is you, but like there's some, it's odd how our memory really wants to pull the warmest memories from that person that we experienced, but like where do we forget all the bullshit that they put us through? Like where's that memory stored? I just don't understand like where that gets stored, because for me, I find it hard. Like I'd always give people so many chances, and I would think of them as I thought of myself. Like if I wanted to be treated a certain way, but they weren't behaving like me. They weren't showing up the same way as I was. They weren't willing to communicate. They weren't willing to make the changes to be a better person. They just wanted to stay the same as they were and expect the world to revolve around them. That's called selfish, and that's inconsiderate, and that's not a good, those aren't good traits to have, right? So it's challenging, but the more I get distance, the more I see why I had to move away from those people. And they're actually, some of them, it's just like there's an ick factor that comes over me where I'm just like, what was I thinking about? Like even for family, I was just like, what was I thinking about? Like letting those people in my life, and like, you know, when you have ideas of what you want your life to be and you're trying to create it, and like when you get there, like it's going to be abundant, and then the prosperity is going to come. And like you got to think like, why would I want to share that with people who didn't want this for me? It doesn't make sense. That's where these people are conflicting energies with you, because it's like you want good things for them and they don't want good things for you. And yet you're willing to give to them, but they won't even do, like if they get something, they hoard it for themselves. They don't like give it to you. They don't share it. They don't want it. It's an odd thing when you start to realize like the real true colors of certain people. Sorry, this is just like super bright in my face. It's hard because you're just like, you know, I really wanted good things for us. And they're just like, no, I just wanted things for me. So like getting some distance from them It's going to help give you some clarity as to why it didn't work and why it would have never worked. And so that's a whole grieving process. So what I've got is there's 3 decks from this grieving, wait, I think I got the gratitude card. Hold on, I got the wrong deck. This is a gratitude card. Give me a minute. There it is. I actually have 3 sets of these decks, and I'm going to start working more with them in the channel because I think they're really interesting the way they're set up, and I think they could be really helpful just to start a daily practice with some of them. Okay, so these are not separated this time, but I think I'm going to go back at some point and do that. So we'll just see what comes out for you. What do you need to help heal this? What do you need to help let this go? What do you need? What message do my viewers need to help let things go? Dig deep. Dig deep for the strength to keep going, for the courage to ask for help, or for the determination to try again. Look deeply inside your character or deeply into your history. Like the sea, you contain secret depths. Dive deep for inner reserves of resilience, discipline, and motivation. Dedicate your actions to someone you love. And you know what? If you're not in a position like to love someone yet, like redirect that at yourself. You know, like there are times where I'm like, you know what, it would be nice to have someone in my life, but at the same time, while that's not happening, I'm not going to give to someone who isn't worthy of that. I'm going to redirect that at myself so I can become better and attract better. So it's not always about just jumping. If this is something like that, I don't think it's a great idea to jump back into something or like you know, after you end something, it's always a good idea to take a lot of time after that before starting something new. Not just for yourself, but for like anyone that you'd be dating. Like it's not really, you want to clean up and kind of process that before you want to add more to it. So this is card number 3. So that was 17. This is 3. Open your throat chakra. Make time to express your emotions to yourself and others, like having a good cry on your own, having a good talk with a counselor, or having a good laugh, sharing a memory with a loved one. Voicing what you're feeling inside is important now. So censor yourself less. Sing like the nightingale until dawn arrives. I'm going to get some cards for this one. In case you need some help with that, I've got, I have a whole deck of cards of things that things that have crossed my mind through the last few years, things that came out. And like sometimes if people are struggling with like finding the words, I find the cards might be able to help with that. So there's sometimes where it's like you pull a card and you're like, I didn't even know I was feeling that. And like if you go to a counselor, it's helpful too, because a lot of the stuff, like I just went to see someone today and I just find it really helpful. And speaking on things, telling your story to someone who's actually wanting to listen, because when you've been expressing yourself to someone who is like a wall or just like doesn't care like what you're having to say, it's very different doing that to someone who is receiving that information, processing it, trying to figure out like what's going on, as opposed to someone who's just deflecting it and dismissing it. It's very different. And is it the same as having a partner that you can communicate and work with? Maybe not, but it's better than nothing. And it can be helpful because they can give you some good hindsight, insight, and just reflection material just to find out what's going on and how to process it. Okay, say no with love. Get clear on your authentic yes and practice saying no with love. Telling others no may create uncomfortable energy today, yet might save you time, stamina, sanity, or resources tomorrow. Set healthy boundaries with yourself and others now. Prioritize yourself while being considerate and diplomatic with others. You don't have to be everything to everyone. Conserve and protect your energy. Another thing is you're going to find out when you learn how to say no more, people are going to stop asking you more. Like if they're not okay with it, if there are people that aren't good with boundaries, they're either going to try to press your boundaries or they're going to go find someone it's easier. And I don't like that idea either, but like it is what it is. You can't control that person and how they behave. You can only control like what you're doing with yourself. And so when you learn how to say no and you stop giving yourself to just whoever, if people who are capable of doing them for themselves, like that's where I say no. Like if you're an adult, go, like if I can get a counselor, you can figure out how to get a counselor. If I can do my laundry and clean my house, you can do your laundry and clean your house. You know, like if I'm doing this shit, then you're gonna be looking for other people that can do that shit. And if they can't do it, that's probably not like a good connection, whether it be like platonic or romantic. Okay, so Oh, this one's hard to read. Enjoy a healing story. Stories serve as templates for healing and inform your healing process. Is there a fictional character whose emotional experience mirrors your own? Is there someone in your world or in the public eye whose life story provides insight into yours? Storytelling is a healing art, reminding you of what's best in the human spirit. To be honest, you know what I've been actually, I would say binge watching on, if I'm going to be honest. I'm watching these TikTok compilations, and I mentioned it in, I think, one of my other videos. And I'm finding it helpful because it's like there's some stuff that they're saying, and it's like a lot. And I think you got to be careful with these, because like some of the I've watched these kind of things before, and like depending on, I don't like when one thing's one-sided or too far to the other. And I take it with a grain of salt, because like I don't think all men are like that. I don't think all women are a certain way. I think there are humans, and I think there are patterns in the genders. But I also think some people are just dicks, no matter what their gender is. And so I don't want to think that like just all men are gonna be this way. Like, well, a lot of them may be. Then I'm gonna hold out and find the one that's not, and I'm okay with that. I'm not in a rush for that. Well, I would like it, and there are things that I miss in being like with a person. I can be patient, because I'd rather it be right with that right person, as opposed to like I'm wasting my time and energy, like checking the air. Am I there yet? Am I there yet? Like, I think it'll happen when it's gonna happen. And so I've been watching those, because it does, it kind of, what I'm looking for is like, I know what I believe to be true. And so it's nice to have backup when you haven't had backup. It's like, I guess, I don't know if this is validation, a form of validation, but like I've been in a couple rough situations in relationships and workplaces where it's just like, I didn't have the backup. I didn't have, like, I knew I was right. I knew I was right. And I think I went about it properly. I think I went about it with grace and kindness and control. And that doesn't mean you get like the justice in the situation. It doesn't mean like things end up fair. Like my bank account took a hit, but I feel like it got me to where I need to be in this moment. And it reminds me of like a pinball machine, like kind of banging you around to try to get you into position. That's what I feel happened, or at least that's how I'm choosing to look at it. I'm still not at the safety zone, I guess, if some people consider that, but I'm getting there, and I feel good about it. I'm seeing how my mind is changing. I'm seeing how I'm making these small changes just over the last few months. I've made great strides. So that's also like confirming I'm in the right direction. And yeah, sometimes like I think you just got to get confirmation for yourself, like what happened really happened, because you're just not going to get it, especially when it's in a large group and like you're one against some. That can be a really confusing and challenging time to be in, because you're like, what, like it's challenging, because like even when I'm talking to people about this, I'm like, I don't understand like why there's so many there's just so many miserable people around. And like I understand it's something in my energetic field that I'm working on, but when you see like there's a lot of other people that are dealing with this too, I'm not happy about that. But it makes me wonder, like, okay, like this isn't just a me thing, this is like a world thing, this is like society. And I don't know if that's good. It could be worse. But the good thing, what I see to choose to take from it, is that actually like me speaking up, it's not just me, and it felt like it was just me in the environment. And what I'm actually realizing, and that there's like a lot of people like me that are starting to speak up. And so there is a change starting to happen, whether it be with the men and the women or just humans in general. Like, we're not putting up with this shit anymore. We're not tolerating the bullies. We're calling them out. And while we can't do it in every case, in a way to take them to court and get some sort of like what do you call it? Like reconciliation from that? Some sort of like settlement, some sort of like payback. I'd like to think that at some point in my future that will show up in some way. And even if I don't receive it in my pocket, like for them to get that life lesson so that they can do different and be better, that I'd be okay with that too, just so that we're all making this planet like a better place. That would be ideal. But I don't know. It's not like I'm not holding my breath. Okay, so what I want to do here is, like, for opening your throat chakra, I'm going to give you some things that are tending to relate to you right now at this time, that if you feel like yelling out in the comfort of your own space, in your own car, I'm going to pick 5. And another thing you can use, like, I ordered one, but I haven't ever used it, because I don't know yet. I'll use it. I'll use it. It's a I call it a swear jar, but it's a scream jar. man, you could probably just make one, to be honest. And I don't know. I just don't. I'm very weird like that. If I see something and it's visually off-putting, I'm like, ugh, I don't want it. It's like I can't eat snails because the idea of like I see this snail and it doesn't look like a snail now, even though the shell's still there. But it doesn't look slimy like the snail, but I still know it's a snail. So like it's a weird thing. It's like I don't know if it's a textural thing. I don't like the texture of the plastic. I wish it was in a different material. Maybe I'll have to do something about that. So you can use a pillow. I could have just skipped ahead and said, use a pillow. Use your card. Okay, so where are my people already? Oh my goodness, here we go. You're in the right place. If this is what you're asking, you're in the right group. You're in the right group. So that would be really frustrating. So I don't trust God. I don't know what I believe anymore. Yeah, I remember like when I wrote this, I was just like, this is when I was like in the thick of it. I feel with like at the last factory where it was like 2 years I was there, I was being touched by a man. Management was not acknowledging it, and I'm like, I can't afford to. In my mind, I'm like, I can't afford to leave this job, but I can't stay here. You know what I mean? And like, I can't tolerate this. This is bullshit. Like, I was just like so amazed. And honestly, I have those recordings and those emails. I don't know if I have the emails anymore, but I definitely have the recordings, and I want to make a video about that because I want people to see not just what I went through, but so they can see, like, have an example of what that looks like, so they know how to recognize it. But I think he kind of recognized it. Like it's almost like I knew it was wrong, but I'm just like, it felt like one of those moments. And this is how I recognize abuse and crazy shit going on. It's like, I'm like, what the fuck just happened? Because it usually happens by somebody who you don't expect it from, and it's because that person is very good at hiding their true colors and their true intentions. So that's why it's a surprise. You're like, what the heck just happened? Like, I kind of knew you were a bit of a weirdo, and I was kind of feeling off with you, but I didn't know you were that big of a creep. Like that kind of thing. You know, you're like, whoa. And that's why it's so challenging. And then the thing is, like, these situations happen in gray areas, so no one's going to see it. The person, it's going to be really hard to believe that that person did it because of the regular everyday interactions with other people. They've developed some like a reputation to be a certain way, and it's fake, but that's what they've, you know. And so it's really hard for people to see, like, think of that person like, I can't see him doing that. He's such a nice guy. And it's like, that's intentional. And so like so I think that's just on the other side of the coin. If you're ever in the crowd in the herd mentality and like you see something, you're like, that seems strange, like maybe go look at it, maybe maybe ask some questions, because you'll get, it's in the uncomfortable questions that you find out who the person is and what really happened. And so there's some people that, like, when I was in these environments, I felt like nobody else is asking questions. Like there's things that questions should have been asked. And in this last job where I was like had a stalker, like I went to the constable, I went to the police station, and like the constable doesn't even ask his last name to do like some sort of background check to see with like if the person I'm telling them about is even capable of this. Like, what if he's got previous or prior charges? What if he's got previous stalking charges? But we don't know, because like I don't have the dude's last name, because I was thinking that they're going to call my boss at some point during the call to like get his information to do some sort of background check, because I'm like, because all they cared about was, do you have camera footage of him, or do you have witnesses? And witnesses don't matter. And I've had camera footage before at the HR, so I'm like, sometimes it just doesn't, like, there's just people position where it's just like, what is going on? Why are you getting paid to do your job? That's weird. But I mean, it had to happen because, like, honestly, it was the last straw. It wasn't the only thing that was going on in the environment. So like, it felt like, what is going on here? But so like, if you feel like, what is going on here? Like, this is not happening as it should. To me, whenever I've had that happen, I'm usually being relocated, because I've been like tolerating something for too long, and I should have left on my own free will, but I didn't feel safe. And so that's God's way of, like, you know, you don't see God there. It doesn't feel like he's there, but he's actually pushing you to, or she is, God's pushing you out of that environment before it gets even worse, is what my experience is. Worse, I don't even know how much worse it's going to get, but what I understand is like your health deteriorates even more because of the stress that you're putting under, and like being forced to work right beside the guy who touched me, and like I have to be civil to him now. Like, do you know what? Like, and I'm doing that because like I'm civil, and I'm doing that because like I had to grow up with abusers that were, you know, like labeled your family, and like you got to behave like you like them now, and so you convince yourself like, I'm okay. I can get through this, I could tolerate this. But then when you actually realize the situation, like when you get time apart and you pick it and you're like, wow, that's crazy. What if my situation never improves? I don't know if it, I don't know. When I was in the thick of it, when I didn't know how I was going to pay my bills, I didn't think I was going to have money. I still have my house. I thought I was going to lose my house. Like, it got pretty bad. But for me, what I did was, like, I was prepared to be homeless. My most concern was, like, I didn't want to lose my house because this is something I want to hand off to my kids when I'm older. I like my house. And then the second concern was, like, I have 2 dogs, and, like, they're already nervous, anxious kind of dogs. So, like, the last thing I want to do is rehome them. And them not know what's going on. So, like, that was a huge concern. So, like, that was, I was making plans. If I thought it was going to go down to get worse, I was just making plans, like, what would that look like? And I was learning to accept it in case I got there. And so it was easier to process that, you know, and experience that. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, if I have to sell my house, what do I have to do? You know, what does that look like? Where am I going to get my stuff? Am I going to get a trailer? Or a storage unit? Am I going to, like, how am I going to do that? And I would go through all the process, and because that to me was like a reality check. And it made sure that I wasn't in la la land thinking, like, I'm going to win the lottery. I'm going to, you know, have Prince Charming knock on my door and save the day. Like, it keeps you grounded and, like, looking for all different options, because, like, when your life is lifing, you can make a plan and it's just not going to go that way. It just isn't. I don't know how to, like, there's just too many other factors going on in the world. So you got to be able to kind of roll with the punches. And so I had to learn how to, like, if I had A, B, C, and D plans, you know, I'm just like, if this doesn't work, then maybe I'll do that. Or, you know what, depending on what I get from my house, if I get something, then I'm going to do this. And if not, I guess I'm going to be homeless. And, you know what, I was trying to, like, plan my day that way. And it's kind of funny because I made a joke out of it in a way, because I was just like, well, maybe if I, like, plan all the worst case scenarios, like, something good will happen, because normally when I plan the best case scenarios, they never happen. So I was just kind of like, you know, I remember thinking, like, what is the point of manifesting if every time I try to daydream what I want in my life to happen, it turns out the opposite? So, like, at this point, I was like, you know what, this is kind of funny, because I'm sitting here planning, like, losing my house, and that was my biggest fear, was losing my house. Like, that's why I didn't walk away from these workplaces and these toxic environments, because I'm like, I don't want to lose my money to lose my house. And then, so, like, what happened was I actually found out I had things that I hadn't gone to yet, like reserves, I guess you would call it. And so that's how I was able to potentially get myself out of that situation. So it's weird, because, like, the thing that I was fearing, like, as soon as I accepted that, it was some sort of, I don't know, like, it was almost like a like, when you fear the unknown, you're like, well, now this is the known. You know what? I could lose my house. But I can't go back there. I know what that looks like. I don't know what this looks like. So, like, let's go this way. If I have to go this way, and if this way means losing my house, so be it, because I'm going to lose my house at the 9 to 5. So at least this way, I don't have to go back into the abuse. And to me, that's winning, right? And so what happened was, it got dark there for a bit, but then I could see a way forward. And it felt really hopeless, and it was very scary, but I just cried that out. I just cried it out. You know, I got it out of me. I spoke it. I released it. You know, and then you have your frustration, because you're pissed off that there are people like that in the world, that treat others like that and have zero experience in life, but are making money, and it's odd. It is odd. I don't have all the answers as to why that happens. I just hope that, you know what I understand is that some people are being positioned for a really big crash in life. And so, like, well, to me, it seems like they're winning and I'm losing. It's not really about that. It's about positioning them in a position where they're going to get the most bang out of their buck when the tower hits. You know, like, they got to make a difference. You got to hit something that hurts them. If they're emotionally unavailable, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like. You'd think it'd be their pocketbook. And I haven't seen that happen with some of the places I've been in. I haven't been looking. But I feel like I'm on YouTube, so if it was in the news, I'd see it. I don't look for that kind of stuff. I got too much. Like, it's better to focus on my growth. You got to understand, these people got to live with themselves. That's the worst thing. Even if they have money, money can't make that better. Money can't make these people clean their souls out and let them sleep at night and have beautiful lives. Like, that's not going to happen there. They're going to have to come down the path they put me through in order to get to somewhere different, right? So, like, what, I don't know what they're expecting. And so I think those are dark days. You know, while you're experiencing dark days, this is temporary. Their dark days are forever. Like, they're never gonna. They're not. It's almost like they're in like a dead end. They're in a dead end, and like they choose to stay there. That's depressing. Okay, so like your situation, although it gets dark, when you keep moving towards things that are for you, like really for you, and even though it's scary, but it's for you, and it's scary, that's when you know you're on the right path. When you feel like you're having a lot of these frustrating moments where you're just like impatient, that means you're growing. Those are growing pains. That's great. That's a good sign. That means you're doing something different, right? It's different. When you lose your temper for certain things, it's like not losing your temper. It's like, I'm getting frustrated with this situation. These people just, they would like, you know, I had people in my past where, because I'm trying to be like, I'm trying to see the difference like between me and them, and if they're changeable or not. Like, really, do I just, you know, cut that? And well, the communication is cut, you know, like, do I just cut the hope in that? Are they like a different breed kind of thing? I don't like to give up on people, but at the same time, like, you know, when it's affecting you, you got to stop, right? So, yeah, I just don't know. And sometimes I'm just like, okay, I'm kind of done wondering about that because I just don't care anymore. Like, I got to focus on me. So just when you're getting frustrated because things aren't happening for you and you keep trying, all that, as long as you keep trying, you know, even if you got to take a break, take a rest, that's normal, because it's going to get tired. This process is exhausting, let me tell you. So if you find yourself really tired, do check your vitamins, check your iron, check your protein if you can. Rest, because you're exhausted. You've been through it. Abuse is exhausting. Recovering from abuse is exhausting as well. Like, it's a lot of processing. I keep using the word processing. I don't know what else to say. It's just like you're cycling through the emotions. You're revising. You're looking back at things. And you're like seeing new information, and then just like you're revising, because like when you go through that situation again, it's like it expands a bit more, and you get more information about it, and then you're even more pissed off. You're like, oh my god, what? Like, what? And then they did this. Oh my god, like, I didn't even notice that the first time. Like that. Oh my god, and then you see, like, you get new information to fill in the pieces, and it's so you're kind of still like, what the. So the good thing about this is, as you move through the process, at some point it's good when you get to laugh at it, because you're just like, this is ridiculous. Like, this is, and the fact that people behave like this is even more, and they think that it's okay because they're trying to hide it, so they don't think it's that okay, but like, they're still doing it, so they think it's okay. It's weird. Okay, so stop feeling so guilty regarding your kids. Cry and move forward. It's preventing you from doing better for you and them. Yeah, this is a tough one. I'm still working on the guilt for my kids. I think what it is because it feels like there are times when I wish I could have done better, but I'm also like, this is me processing, like looking at, stop. Working at nothing. What time is it? Is it school time? I used to use myself to mirror against the narcissist to see what needed to be changed. And sometimes that's boundaries, and sometimes that's like something within me, I'm like, that I picked up from the narcissist growing up. And I'm like, okay, I got to be better. So like, I'm really hard on myself for like, when I would lose my temper and I would lose, you know, it was like an emotional reaction. I'm really hard on myself for that. And I'm starting to see that it's very different, even though what I don't love is like, it's different. We had different intentions. They were for different reasons, but it still scared my kids, right? Like, I can't get away from that. I scared my kids with my reactions. And I guess I kind of get more pissed off at it because I'm just realizing, like, if I hadn't been pressed for so hard by all these people to make me feel like so low, and just like it's like they're just poking me and just waiting for me to explode. That's what it really was. When you look back on it, it's like, it's gross behavior. This is why it's like, you know, when you look back and you're like, you realize what they really did. Like, so this is what I'm talking about, the clarity. Like, I recognize, like, I took accountability. I'm like, towards my kids, saying like, it's not fair for me to emotionally put my burdens on you. And my inability to control my emotions scared you. And that's not okay. And that's not fair. But, and it's not a but to the kids. When you realize, when you get back and you realize like, why was I doing that? Because I wasn't angry like in a temper. I was overwhelmed. I was overworked. I was over everything. I was overstressed. And why was I overstressed? There were people, like part of it was my bad decision making. Don't get me wrong. I made some bad decisions. I acknowledge that. But then these people were just like poking me and pretending to be my friends and being loved ones when they're really deceitful behind my back. And so when you kind of put that when you see that, it's like you're putting a puzzle together to get the whole picture. And that's what healing is like you're getting answers to like why you are the way you are. And then when you start filling the puzzle and you start seeing the image, and then you get to see how like, like I was here, like I was the tornado, my kids were like flying around in the tornado. And then you see like these people and you see the devil tails and you see the devil ears and you see them like throwing shit at you. And you're like, what are they doing back there? Wait, is that my brother? Is that my sister? Is that my mom? Is that my dad? Is that my cousin? Like family members? Or is that a coworker? So-and-so? Is that my boss? Like what the fuck? And then you start putting faces and you start seeing like how they are actually trying to instigate you. And then that pisses me off because I'm just like, not in the way that I'm gonna go do something. I'm just like, it's just like it makes me want to get further away from those people because I'm just like, you were sabotaging my family. That's so fucked up. My family was sabotaging my family. It's gross when you see that. And we can make all the excuses in the world where they're hurt too and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so was I. So was I. And when I gave them chances. Like I talked to them. I said, this is like what I'm feeling about this situation. And they just deny. So it's really hard to, it's good to see the full picture. And I'm still human and I can understand human aspects. But as long as you're not acknowledging like you did that and have no sort of like remorse for that, like I just can't connect. You know what I mean? I'm disconnected. So and so I'm still working on that guilt in a way. Like I'm acknowledging like I've already apologized, there's nothing I can go back, so I just have to like keep, it's like layers of an onion. Like you just have to keep working at that wound until you get to a point where you feel like, okay, there's nothing else I can do here. I've done everything I can. I'm making myself a better person. I'm trying to change the way I was that made me behave like that and treat my kids like that. Like when I would react or if I made bad choices, like I'm educating myself, I'm gaining wisdom, I'm doing all the things, and like literally that's all you can do. And outside of that, you just have to say like if they can't accept that as a change of behavior, they can't accept that, then that's going to be on their side. And we just got to accept like maybe that's never going to change. You don't know. Like you can only do what you can do. And that's why I say like when people get so stuck on keeping, like we're talking about letting go here, sometimes you just got to let people go. And maybe it's because you don't want to, but it's just like there is no choice. There's no choice to keep us together. And the longer you pine, like it's important to, obviously you're going to grieve that. And depending who it is, like even if you didn't want it to happen, there's still a grieving process. But like at some point, like it's not going to do you any good to keep sobbing about something where it's like, you know what, like they don't want to hear your side or they don't want to do anything about it. And you just got to let it go and realize like there's more people out there for you that really do want to work with you and they're understanding and they can put themselves in your shoes and you can put them in your shoes or their shoes. And yeah. So this one is, I'm afraid of men. And honestly, like just speaking about this recently, while I understand men and women are like both toxic, I realized today, like I just have a long line of like toxic men in my life. And it's kind of that's kind of depressing. It makes sense. Like, but you know what? Like, it's a long line of men. I don't like to blanket the whole world like that. But it seems like there's a lot of other women that are experiencing that right now as well. So we got to look at that and say, like, why do so many women, why are we afraid of men? Like, and men are just be like, oh, it's no big deal. Well, no, it is a big deal. There's a reason why we're afraid of you. And there are enough men out there that are, it's almost like the men don't believe that these other men are capable of doing what they're doing. And it's because they haven't been at the hands of these men. So like you wouldn't see that side of them. It's kind of like the nice guy who is at work. It's like the other guys don't want to believe that he's touching me, but it's like something would have showed them that he's got creepy tendencies. He made comments to them. They saw that he had trouble keeping his hands off me. even when it was considered friendly. So like, what kind of, like, to push this a little bit farther, what makes it so hard for you to believe that that guy's creepy and then you're still going to befriend him? Like, it's weird, right? It's just like when the men befriend the predator, and then you wonder why we're afraid of men, like why we're not going to you for help, why you're not our protectors anymore. It's like, well, like, you can't even protect yourself from the predators. If you're amongst the crew, the group, the, like, you know, like, this is why boundaries is so important, because it's like, for me to be around certain people, like, I need to know that you have boundaries, because I need to know that you have my back, because I want relationships that are safe, and connections that are safe, and what that means is, like, I'm gonna have your back like you have mine. But if you don't have mine, how is that fair? Then I'm left, unprotected, and I'm watching yours too. Like, what, how does that work? So like, there's got to be and so these are things like I just no longer will tolerate anymore. It's like, if you don't have boundaries, I'm out. I could think you're the cutest guy in the world, but once I recognize that you're riding with the wrong crew, that feels unsafe to me. And you know what? It shows me that you can't give me what I can give. And so maybe if that's why you're struggling with letting go with someone, like, recognizing, like, are they offering what you're offering? Is it a fair exchange? And this isn't tit for tat. This is saying, like, this is someone not making excuses for their behavior, for their friends' behavior. This is like, it's a red flag when I meet a man and his friends are all into strip clubs and porn, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm not into that. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Because if you weren't into that, you wouldn't be hanging with those dudes, and you wouldn't be able to tolerate it. Like, I can't. Like, it would make you feel like a certain sort of way, because women are exploited in those kind of films. And like, some of them are sex trafficked. Some of them, a lot of them, the majority of women who have been, and I think men have been like sexually abused when they're younger as kids. And like, how would you want to support that? What makes you, like, what in your brain can put that to the back of your head while you're enjoying something like that? And people make excuses. Well, it's not all of them. Did you miss the part that I said the majority of people in the porn industry have been sexually abused as children? Did you miss that? Like, and it's just like, people, and that's a problem when there people lack boundaries with other people, and they lack boundaries within themselves. They lack discipline. They're indulgent, and like, that's an unsafe person. Like, so I don't want to be around people like that. So if you're having to let go, make sure, like, there's a reason for it. There's a reason. There's something that has told you, like, I can't be around this anymore. It's not healthy for me, and I can no longer do this. Okay, so I'm gonna pull a couple cards here just to close it out, because I'm keeping an eye on the clock, and these are taking forever to download. Resilience. I need to control. And then this is a trigger statement. And the essential oil is cypress. So the true statement is, I surrender. Oh, so the trigger statement is, I need to control. I like this, because like, I used to think I had to control these individuals. Like, I used to have to, like, parent them, and because they were like acting like toddlers. So I'm just like, you know what? Like, I don't need a man that I have to parent. I want a partner. And so like, if you feel like you're having to control somebody, like, let go, let them go. It's like a spitting top. Like, let them do their shit and away from you. Like, just make sure you put up like a little guard so they can't bounce back. Let them go. They're never, if you feel like you have to control their movements, and you always have to call them out, and you're like having to watch them and watch their behavior, and you're constantly nagging them, that's a child parent dynamic. That is not an adult to adult dynamic. And so like, you're exhausted. You're like, that's not your job. Let them go, grow up outside of you. Allow yourself to relax with the currents of life. These changes will take you even closer to where you're meant to be. Yeah. Honestly, not dealing with a man has been bringing me peace in the way, and people, actually it's people, because I've had, with women, it's like, I can't control them in the way that I can't, like, they get real competitive, and I want them to win, but they can't see that. All they can see is like, what I gain, but like, they can't see what they have that I don't have. Like, they have stuff that I don't have, and I'm not sitting there I'm trying to earn it myself. So it's really weird. I don't want to knock them down so they lose their material resources that I don't have. That would be weird. But that's what it feels like. I'm in this weird competitive energy with like people, and it's just like, I just want to live my life and help others and grow in my garden. Like, I don't know what it is. It's really weird. So maybe you feel this way too. But this is a beautiful color. This green. I always get my colors mixed up. This yellow. I was thinking orange, and I get orange and green mixed up. I don't know why I do that, because it made me think of mustard. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. So I acknowledge, like, if you feel like you're trying to control someone, that's an immaturity there. They need to be doing, if they can't see what they need to do and they're not doing it, watching them, monitoring them, reminding them, living your life around them, like feeling, this is like, I've seen where there's women that, when their men are around certain other women, you can see their men peek up around that woman. And they're sitting there and they're trying to like, well, sit this way, honey, face me, like away from the woman. Like, that's going to help. That dude has an eye for other women. It has nothing to do with you as a woman. That dude is immature. He doesn't appreciate you like, he's not afraid of losing you. He's not afraid of losing you. So like, why, if you feel like you have to constantly try to like get in the middle of like him and other women, like let him go. Let him go check out those other women. And the way that, like, that's not your problem anymore. That's not like a let him go and come back. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in like, there's like songs where it's like, you'll come back to me or something, like, if it's meant to be, you'll come back to me. If you're sleeping with someone and they go and they feel the need to go like be with somebody else and like experience someone else romantically, intimately, like that's not what I'm talking about. I would never suggest that. I think it's not healthy. Let them go do their thing. They're obviously not appreciating you. And what I'm experiencing or explaining is like, it sounds like one's got one foot in the door and one foot out. If they're window watchers where they're like always watching for other women, they've got their eye. If you know if I'm telling you this, because like I've experienced this where I'd be sitting there beside the kid's dad and like a young girl would walk across the car, like while we're at a stoplight or something, and he's watching her the whole time. Or you can see like at the side of his eye, like he's trying to, like, what? Go look. You know what? Go move over. I'll drive. Go check that out. Like, don't let me stop you. Like, you're either here or you're not, and like, and they're gonna like kind of argue at first because they want the security that you're giving them, but they also want the freedom, and that's immature. That's kind of like a teenage, right? That's your teenage era. But these men are like 30, 40, 50. Like, they're grown. They know better. They should know better. And if they don't, like, it's not your job to teach them. They're missing something. That's not, you can't teach them this. It's not your job. That's parenting. You're a partner. So just let them go. And it's gonna hurt at first. It's kind of like ripping off the Band-Aid, but you know what? It's gonna feel better later. A quiet house, a clean house. When you don't have to feel that like anxiety and that like always wondering, are they watching porn? What are they watching on the TV? Like, I would be worried like whenever I fell asleep or I didn't have my face facing the TV, like my partners, like I'd be like, well, what are they watching? Because they turn the volume down real low. Watch for the volume. If you find the TV in the morning on silence, that's what they're doing. Because I would catch guys doing that. I'm like, what? Why is the volume off? Like, that's fucked up. Like, off. I mean, come on. Anyways, I'm going to end it because I don't want them to get going. But I hope this was helpful. If you find it helpful, be sure to like and subscribe. Try to support the channel if you can. There's some ways in the description box. And I will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching and take care.